Você quer saber mais como gerenciar o seu dinheiro, construir um crédito nos Estados Unidos e ganhar confiança na gestão do seu dinheiro aqui? Hoje eu vou conversar com Rodrigo Dantas, CEO da Gabriel Money, e nós vamos esclarecer essas dúvidas. Olá, eu sou Renata Lillywhite, advogada de imigração, e esse é o Cruzando Fronteiras. Hoje nós vamos falar sobre um assunto muito importante para a comunidade latina de imigrantes aqui nos Estados Unidos. Nós vamos conversar com Rodrigo Dantas, da Gabriel Money, e essa entrevista vai ser conduzida em inglês, mas você poderá ver as legendas em português aqui. Hello, Rodrigo.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Welcome. I would like first to ask you to introduce yourself to our public. Tell us a little bit about your story, the story of your company, the Gabriel Money, so we can start developing our topic here.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for having me here. I'm Rodrigo Dantas, as you've mentioned, and co-founder and CEO of Gabriel Money. Gabriel Money is a financial technology company using AI to help young Americans of Latino origin build credit, access non-predatory products, and develop confidence about the way they manage their finances. And we started the company out of our own experience as immigrants. So I'm happy to be here to share a little bit more about that with you.
Okay, that's great. And this is a great subject to talk about because a lot of people come to the United States and they struggle to buy houses, to open accounts, bank accounts, and because they don't have a credit score, and which is very important here. It's different from other countries. Mm-hmm. So I was reading another interview that you gave to a magazine, and one thing called my attention, which was a story that you mentioned regarding your wife. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about the story that inspired you to open Gabriel Money. So tell us a little bit about that story, because I relate to that story myself, because it was very hard for me to open an account in the US. My husband was the one who had all the bank accounts and credit cards, so it was hard for me to get to build a credit here in the United States. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's great, and I think super relevant to the journey of an immigrant itself, right? Mm-hmm. So we moved in. So my wife, myself, and our two kids. They're 6 and 8 at the time. We moved in with the backing of a big corporation that I was working for. And my wife is also, like yourself and many others, powerful businesswoman, entrepreneur herself, and also with background in finances. I've been working in finances and banking and financial technology for more than 25 years. But when we moved, as all immigrants moving to another country, there were so many uncertainties about what we were going to face, right? I didn't know if professionally I was going to succeed. That went perfectly. That was amazing. She was managing a business at the time, had to learn how to manage it remotely before we all knew that this was possible, right? This is before the pandemic. Our kids didn't speak any English. We were not sure how they were going to deal with that. And of all of those years, they were quickly solved. I mean, the kids learned English super fast and started to correct my accent. Professionally, for me, it was great. She was able to manage her business remotely, no problem. What we did not anticipate, even though we had the financial knowledge and the backing of a big corporation, is how important is this concept of a credit score here in the United States for your life, right? You need a credit score here for anything. You want to get a postpaid cell phone plan that you can have, the cell phone as a perk. If you don't have a credit score, no way. You have to prepay your phone. You want to rent an apartment. If you don't have a credit score, you have to have 3 months of down payment. Even getting a job, usually people come here already with something in mind, but you have to have this thing called credit score. And it's counterintuitive for us. If you come from Latin America, one, you don't borrow money, right? You don't want to borrow money. Interest rates are too high, you don't
high.
want, that's cultural, right? And second, usually you don't want your name reported to any bureau because that's usually a bad thing. So you come here and it's different. So that hits you differently, and without that you can really not fully participate in the economy. So the trigger, even before we decided to create the company, the trigger was Dani, my wife's experience. I had the backing of this big corporation that was co-signing everything for me, but she, her being a powerful businesswoman, two questions that started to happen at the house. One, she would look at me and say, "Husband, can you sign this for me because they don't think I'm worth it?" And the second question was, "Hey, Mr. FinTech, isn't this a problem of more people? Couldn't we do something to solve it?" That's how it all started.
Wow. Yeah, I remember I had the same issue, and I will never forget that the only utility company that accepted my name on the bill was the trash company. So that was so amazing for me. I said, "Oh my gosh, only the trash company accepted."
Yeah, it's counterintuitive completely.
So yeah, you're right, because we come from countries where as you said, the interest rate is very high. We've been through, in Brazil, we've been through hyperinflation in the 80s, and we don't like to borrow money. And also in our culture, if you don't have any debts, that's good for you. That's good for your name, for your reputation.
Yeah.
But here, no. You have to have a credit card. You have to have debts. But if you show that you're paying your debts, right, that's good for you.
Yeah, there's different types of debts. There's good debt. There's bad debt. There's the ability to repay is what actually counts as credit worthiness, whereas in Latin America is the fact that you don't need to borrow that we believe to be credit worthiness. So it's really different.
Yeah, and we have to adapt to that. So it's not easy. Tell me, Rodrigo, in your opinion, what is the current situation of the immigrant community with regards to financial empowerment? Do you see that happening in the U.S.
Oh, it's
now?
challenging. It's interesting, and my experience is definitely more focused on the Latin community, right? The immigrants coming from Latin America, financial. There's what's called a wealth gap, right? Especially of Latinos. So. Latinos are already responsible for 1/4 of the economy of America between 18 and 30 years old. So the income generated by this age group, 1/4 of that is generated by young Americans of Latino origins or young Latinos. And that's really impactful because if you think economically as the country evolves and ages go on, this becomes the very dominant segment of the population. Despite that fact, the ability to transform income into wealth, it's not there. So Latinos have, on average, half of the wealth of a counterpart that's non-Latino, regardless of how much money you make, regardless of the income that you generate. And that has to do with this very problem that we are talking about, which is the ability to understand and participate effectively in the financial system, using the products that are available at better rates, and developing confidence about all of the financial instruments that you have so that you can not only make money, but also use your money well, have your money work for you as well. Right? So I think that's the major dissonance that happens in the end of the day. Latinos are hardworking, creative, we figure out a way to work and to make money, right? But the way the system works poses a challenge on how to fully understand and access the financial instruments that are available for you, and then therefore transform that into wealth.
Okay, and how do you think Gabriel Money can help this community of people who struggle with this
that's the very purpose of what we are building, right? I believe that every honest, hardworking American should be able to build wealth regardless of their background. And that's the belief that drove us to build the company. In order to do that, we went to understand all of the layers of the problem that we are solving, right? We talked a bit about the first two layers, which is every immigrant starts from scratch in the US, right? So regardless where you come from Asia, you come from Africa, you come from Latin America, it's the same story. You start from scratch. It hits Latinos differently for the reasons that we just talked about, right? Culturally, we don't understand, so there's a cultural dissonance right there. Then that triggers another layer, which is the fact that you realize that you don't know about finances, about how the financial system works in the country. But at the same time, you don't want any gringo telling you that you need financial education, right? So that creates a conflict, and you don't ask. So what you end up seeing is a lot of people living out of cash, right? And just, okay, I'm going to down pay this, I'm going to down pay that. So not really leveraging the fact that you live in a country with the relatively low interest rates overall, that you could be accessing different dynamics of products. And then it triggers the last layer of the problem, which is if you even were born here and grow up in a family like that, you are now an adult that doesn't know how to fully participate in the economy and in the finances. And that's where we are starting, right? So we decided, so the immigration journey, the diaspora economy as they call it, it comes from the moment before you decide to immigrate, and then the process, and then right when you arrive, and then until you establish yourself, and then even your children, right? It's a generational issue, right? It happens overall. So we decided to start with this younger generation.
Interesting.
And for a number of reasons, but mostly one, for them, the fact that they cannot fully access the financial system is a really urgent problem to be solved. Differently from their parents, they are here not only to make a living, they are here to make it, right? They were born here oftentimes, or they grew up here. So they have a different motivation. They have to figure it out. And that's that. And the other thing is that because we are a digital platform, we start in the app. This generation is fully digitally enabled, and they can even be the influencers of the household. So they can even teach their family how to do that later. Exactly. So that's how we decided to start through them.
It was good that you are targeting that age group because they're savvy, tech savvy.
Exactly.
And it's good because they, as you said, they can teach other family members how to use it and they can stimulate, even parents or who knows, grandparents or other people to also use the digital platform.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's, people don't realize, but it's the Latinos in the US are a economic powerhouse. Right? There are more, according to the census of 2020, there are more than 84 million Latinos in the US, right? They are an economy of $3.3 trillion. This is 40% larger than the GDP of Brazil. This is, equal to the GDP of Argentina, Colombia, and Mexico combined. So the largest Latino economy in the world is actually Latinos in the US. And if you get that and trickle it down to focus on the problem we are solving for, there are 6.5 million young Latinos between 18 and 30 years old with low credit scores in the country. There are 20 million with low credit scores. So this is really this is not a small issue or a small niche. It's a very relevant opportunity.
Yeah, and you also help other communities besides
yeah.
Latinos?
Oh
Or?
yeah, oh yeah. That's a great question. By design, I mean, when I answer this question, typically saying, "Hey, do you like pizza or do you like tacos?" Or that was not made for you. I mean,
Yeah.
pizza was made originally for the Italians, right?
Yeah.
Tacos were made originally
Nowadays,
for,
everybody
but
wants
everybody
pizza.
likes it, right? Because it's something that's good for you somehow, or that it solves something that you end up liking. That's happening the same way with us at Gabriel Money. So we are building what we are building, focused on a deep understanding of these communities, years of interviewing and digging into the nature of the problem and talking to people. And we are building a solution that's tailored to that need. But half of our customers already are not Latinos.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
because
interesting.
because that serves a broader need in the population. And those numbers that I was giving you, 40 million, 20 million overall Latinos with low credit scores, 6.5 in young Latinos in metro areas. But okay, there are 122 million Americans with low credit scores, regardless of their background.
Wow.
So, and all of them can benefit from the solution that we're building, right?
Yeah,
So that's really
Rodrigo, tell me, what types of products do you offer to Gabriel Money to these people?
It all starts with the app, right? It all starts with the app. You go to the app stores, you download it, both Google and Apple. You download it, install it on your phone. And with name, email, and telephone number, you can already use the app. And the app has Gabi, which is the AI agent. So it's a chat GPT-like dynamics, just to use an analogy that everybody's familiar with. So you can ask anything about finances and Gabi will answer. And if not, you have the opportunity to talk to a person, and every time that happens, Gabi gets better because it learns. So we are curating the model behind Gabi, so that it doesn't go rogue and all of the answers make sense. So we're making sure that happens. So that's one. Then Gabi already provides you insights on credit building. So how to build your credit scores, things that you can do, and provide individualized insights for your specific condition and situation. You can do simulations. What if I do this? What if I do that? And Gabi helps you figure that out. And also, Gabi also has a kind of a gamified trivia that you can play and learn and get some points that you can run the sweepstakes and even get some cash. So all of that is in the app, free. You download the app, that's already there. From the app, you can apply for a secure credit card, which is an actual financial instrument that helps you build credit. For that, we require that you have a document with a picture. That can be a passport. You have to have a verified address in the US. And you have to have either a social security number or an ITIN. Okay, that's it. You don't have to have previous credit score. You don't have to have previous anything. We just have to be able to prove your identity through those three requisites, and you can apply to this product, which works in a way that you build credit with your own money, with no risk of debt. So think of it in a way. You make a deposit into a deposit account. We issue you a credit card, and the limit of that card is equal to the deposit that you've made. Every month, you have to pay for the full statement. And as you pay, we report payment on time to the bureaus.
Perfect.
If you don't pay, we collect from that deposit and still report payment on time to the bureaus. So you're always paying on time, and there's no way you're going to fall into bad debt. Right? Because this is kind of a protected first product. It's designed to be an entry-level product.
Interesting.
Right? And you're building credit as you use it. This week, we are launching a student loan repayment debt. So student loans are a big issue in the US. And we are helping students with federal student loans on variable income repayment plans search, find, and enroll into plans that charge them less every month so that they can afford to pay and not miss any payments, and over time qualify for forgiveness. So this is a product that we're launching right now. Later this summer, we're launching a full credit builder suite with other products as well. And that's the idea, continue to evolve and to, load the app with additional products that can be very targeted and helpful while the AI gets smarter, right? So that it can also be more insightful. So that's the combination.
Oh, that's great. It's very helpful, especially to students, right? Now, this type of product, because
not only to students. I mean, if you have the debt, if you graduated with the debt, and now you have a kid, so you have less available income. So we can help you find a lower, a plan that has a lower repayment that better fits your budget at this moment, and you don't have to skip payment, and you can continue living your life.
That's great. So I think you already mentioned what does a person need to create an account. So let's just recap here. Is like ID. You said passport.
To use the app.
To use the app.
It doesn't even need documents. It's just a name.
But to create an account, to create have a credit card or something like that.
Yeah. So that is
ID.
A document issued by a government that has a picture in it. That's
even if it's a Brazilian passport, or
even if it is a passport.
Okay.
Yes. A verifiable address in the United States, and a social security or an ITIN.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's great. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the AI, the use of AI now in this area of financial advisory, or whatever you want to call it. How do you see it? You have to be careful.
You have to be careful. Yes, I don't call it advisory. There are some legal reasons for you to call something a financial advisory that it's not the case of what you're doing. Our AI is aimed to be a financial empowerment tool. It's financial education component. Is financial support for your journey. Yes, you have to be careful on anything that has AI in it, right? And how much you get from that tool. What we are building in Gabriel Money is something that we are curating the content. So the database that informs the AI is a database that we create.
Okay, right? That's important.
And that's the important element of the guardrails on how the technology works. The other element is actually what are the questions that the technology is prepared to proactively help you with, and what are the questions that we will not help you with. Right? So that's also something that, and we will tell you now, we don't talk about drugs, right? Don't come ask about this, we won't talk about this. So, but having someone responsible for it behind it is very relevant. And that's something that we do not take lightly.
Okay. Well, I think this interview was very informative. Would you like to talk about any other topic that you think is interesting for the community, and anything you would like to add? Feel free.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very, very happy to be able to be spreading the word and impacting more people. If you are watching this and you can download the Gabriel Money app, it's gabriel.money, our website. You can also go there. And once you create your account, you can use the promo code Lily30, and we will help you getting started with $30 credit in your card.
Oh, that's great.
Just to help you get started.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your career, and for Gabriel Money, the company, all success.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming here today.
Okay.
Esse foi o nosso Cruzando Fronteiras de hoje com Rodrigo Dantas, CEO da Gabriel Money. Se você gostou do nosso programa, assine o nosso canal do YouTube, Cruzando Fronteiras, clique no sininho para ativar a notificação dos próximos episódios, curta e compartilhe com seus amigos. Obrigada e até a próxima!